You have a list somewhere, maybe on your phone, maybe in a notebook, maybe just in your head. Courses you started, books half read, a business idea with 3 pages of notes and no page 4, a gym membership you stopped using in February, a dream you told yourself you would come back to. You haven't come back to it yet. Here is the truth nobody says out loud. You don't have a motivation problem. You don't have a time problem. You have a finishing problem. And the reason you can't finish things is not because you are lazy or broken. It is because starting feels like progress. Starting feels like hope. And finishing, real finishing, requires you to sit with discomfort long after the excitement is gone. Researchers at the University of Scranton found that only 8% of people actually follow through and complete what they set out to do. 8%. That means 92% of people are living in a permanent state of almost. Today I am going to tell you the story of Daniel, a 31-year-old graphic designer from Manchester, England, a man who had started and abandoned 22 different projects in 3 years. 22. Until one rainy Tuesday afternoon, he met an old Japanese man in a quiet repair shop and discovered one word, one ancient idea called Shokunin. That changed everything. In 60 days, Daniel finally finished something. And then he finished everything else too. Before we go further, if you have ever said the words, "I'll get back to that soon," and you both know you probably won't, this channel is for you. Subscribe right now. Every week, we bring you stories like this one. Stories about real people who found ancient wisdom and used it to change their ordinary lives. And if this video speaks to something in you, please hit the like button. It helps more people find this story. Now, one question I want you to answer in the comments below. What is the one thing you have started but never finished that you know could change your life if you actually completed it? Write it down. Just one thing. I read every single one. Now, back to the story. Daniel's apartment told the whole story before he did. In the corner of his living room sat a guitar with one broken string. Bought 18 months ago after watching a YouTube video at midnight. Played for 6 weeks. Then forgotten. On his desk sat a half-built website for a freelance design business he planned to start. The homepage was beautiful. Nothing else existed. On his bookshelf, 11 books, each one with a receipt used as a bookmark somewhere in the first third. Daniel was not a lazy man. He worked hard at his actual job. He showed up. He paid his bills. But every dream, he had died somewhere in the middle. He told himself he got bored easily. He told himself he was waiting for the right time, the right tools, the right version of himself to arrive. At night, lying in the dark, a quiet voice asked him something he didn't want to answer. What if this is just who you are? His girlfriend Sarah had stopped asking about his projects. She used to ask with excitement. Then she asked with patience. Now she didn't ask at all. That silence was louder than anything she could have said. The breaking point came on a Tuesday. His manager pulled him aside and offered him a promotion. Lead designer. More money. Real responsibility. Daniel sat in his car afterwards and felt nothing. Not excited. Not grateful. Just tired of being someone who never fully became anything. He drove home in the rain. He sat outside his building for 20 minutes. And then, almost without thinking, he walked into a small repair shop on the ground floor. A shop he had passed 100 times and never once entered. The shop smelled like oil and old wood. Behind the counter sat a small man with white hair and reading glasses. He was repairing what looked like an antique clock. His hands moved without hurry, each movement deliberate, each movement complete. His name was Kenji Mori, 70 years old, born in Kyoto, living in Manchester for the last 30 years. He looked up at Daniel the way a man looks at someone he has been expecting. Daniel mumbled something about needing a watch battery. Kenji found it in 30 seconds. Then he looked at Daniel quietly and said, "You look like a man carrying many unfinished things." Daniel laughed nervously. "Is it that obvious?" Kenji set down his tools. "In Japan," he said slowly, "we have a word. Shokunin." He said it again. Shokunin. It means a craftsman. A person who gives themselves completely to one thing at a time. Not because they love every moment of it, but because they made a promise to finish. He pointed to the clock on his workbench. A river does not finish flowing because it feels inspired. It finishes because it is committed to one direction. Always one direction, even when rocks are in the way. Daniel stood there in that small shop with the rain on the window and felt something he couldn't name, like a key turning in a lock he didn't know existed. He walked home different. He didn't know why yet, but something had shifted. Daniel went back to the shop the next morning. Kenji gave him a simple system. No apps, no productivity hacks. One rule, one challenge, 60 days. The rule was this: choose one project, only one. Every day at 7 in the morning, sit with it for 45 minutes. Not when you feel like it. Every day, 7 o'clock, 45 minutes. Even when you don't want to. Especially when you don't want to. The Shokunin does not wait for inspiration, Kenji said. The Shokunin shows up. The work becomes the inspiration. Daniel chose the freelance website. The first week was uncomfortable. His mind pulled toward his phone, toward emails, toward anything easier. He sat there anyway. Some mornings he produced almost nothing. He sat there anyway. Around day 14 something changed. He noticed he was thinking about the website before he even sat down. His mind was already working before the alarm went off. Neuroscientist Dr. Anne Graybiel at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology has spent decades studying how habits form in the brain. Her research shows that repeated behavior at a consistent time and place builds what she calls a habit loop, a neural pathway that eventually runs with almost no resistance at all. What Daniel was feeling at day 14 was his brain beginning to rewire itself. The Japanese knew this centuries before the science. They called it the way of the craftsman. Show up. Every day. Same time. The craft changes you whether you feel it or not. At day 31, everything broke at once. Work was overwhelming. Sarah's mother was in hospital. Daniel hadn't slept properly in 4 days. He sat at his desk at 7 in the morning and opened his laptop. He stared at the screen for 10 minutes. Then he reached over and almost closed it forever. His hand was on the lid. He thought about Kenji. He thought about the river. Always one direction. Even when rocks are in the way. He left the laptop open. He worked for 20 minutes. It was the worst 20 minutes of the project. Nothing he made was good. He saved it anyway. He closed the laptop. He wanted to be with Sarah. The next morning, he showed up anyway. On day 60, Daniel launched his website. Not perfect, but complete. Within 3 weeks, he had 2 freelance clients. Within 2 months, he had replaced half his monthly salary with his own work. But the numbers were not the real change. The real change was how he moved. He finished his sentences now. He finished conversations. He stopped half-reading books and started reading them to the last page. He picked up the guitar with the broken string. He replaced the string. He practiced every morning after the website session. One evening, Kenji came to Daniel's apartment for tea. He looked around at the room that used to hold abandoned dreams. "You are different," Kenji said simply. Then Kenji told Daniel something he had never told anyone. That when he first came to Manchester at 40 years old, he had left behind a failing business in Kyoto. He had started over with nothing. The repair shop almost closed 4 times. He had wanted to quit every single time. "Shokunin did not come naturally to me," Kenji said quietly. "I had to choose it every day. Until one day it chose me." Daniel understood then. Wisdom always comes from wounds. 1. Starting is easy because it feels like hope. Finishing is hard because it requires you to keep going after the hope fades. What project have you been calling on hold for longer than 3 months? Today, write its name on a piece of paper and put it somewhere you will see it every morning. 2. Shokunin is not about talent. It is about showing up to one thing at the same time every single day. What one project deserves your 45 minutes tomorrow morning? Not 10 things. 1. 3. Your brain needs repetition before it gives you motivation, not the other way around. Motivation follows action. It does not lead it. What would change in your life if you showed up every day for just 60 days? 4. The unfinished things in your life are not evidence of failure. They are a map pointing to what matters most. Which unfinished thing on your list is your river, the one that only needs one direction to finally reach the sea? Here is your challenge. Tonight, before you sleep, do one thing. Open your phone or your notebook. Find the one unfinished thing that still calls to you, the one you think about when you are quiet. Write this beside it. Day 1. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Set the alarm right now, not someday. Tonight. You did not find this video by accident. Something in you is ready. The unfinished thing you carry is not proof that you are someone who quits. It is proof that you have the courage to begin. Now it is time to find the courage to stay. Subscribe if this story stayed with you. Leave your unfinished thing in the comments. And when you are ready, the next story is waiting for you. Be present. Walk with honor. Follow the path.